All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Naterealmidwest Podcast. We are back. Sorry, it has been a while. I had laryngitis, and so my voice has been a while. This is actually, we're on episode, don't guess what episode because of how freaking frustration I am right now, but we are back. We're all over every platform. We have X, we have TikTok running, we have social media running, we have all over platforms that are running on our TikTok thing. We are working on getting the stream key for TikTok, so I just wanted to give you guys an update what's happening in Minneapolis. And the one word that I can say that the update that we're having, it is crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy of more people defining their self and power and working as a situation that is defining itself as, let's go out and fight these civilizations. You know what I mean? Let's go against the federal government. Let's have a war, or a civil war that is planting of our system. Correct? So I was just looking at some more stuff. When you hear Governor Walz's system and speaking about what is happening, and I'm kind of glad that I started the podcast today. Like I said, I was sick. I had laryngitis. My voice is getting better, but I can talk and stuff. Good morning, Bethany. Good morning. Welcome to the Naterealmidwest Podcast. Good morning, everybody. I know a lot of people are on YouTube watching right now. I'm so glad about that. But I just really wanted to get this situation of what is happening in Minneapolis is the idea of our governor inciting that violence is okay. And I really, really wanted to give you a freaking shout out of what is happening and stuff, and the federal funding that is going on, okay? You're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. 5.3% of the federal funding is for public safety. Public safety, people. Public safety. Who decides that, oh, the federal government, yeah, we'll get money for you, right? We'll ask for money, but for public safety to keep our citizens safe in the state of Minnesota is 5.3%. You're not going to believe what else is higher than that. That is the lowest of public safety I have ever seen in my life. In my life. And you're asking me to trust our governor to keep us safe when we have a federal budget of public safety that is 5.3%? What is going on here, people? I don't understand this. And I think when we listen to Governor Walz speak, and we're going to hear him speak, what he's defining is the news media ain't covering what's going on. Oh, the news media is definitely covering what is going on, okay? Okay? The idea that he's saying these stuff is just so asinine and crazy, but the news media is covering this stuff. Everybody's saying Walz is a traitor. I agree. He is a traitor. I think he's worse than that, but it's just so crazy that we're listening to this idea of him speaking what is happening in the state of Minnesota, and he's promoting this violence. He's literally promoting it. He's like, go out and there and fight. Let's watch this video, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what he's trying to say. Listen up very closely.
My fellow Minnesotans, what's happening in Minnesota right now defies belief. News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos and disruption and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed in Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools. They're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation...
Okay, hold on. Have we all seen the video? Governor Walz, have you seen the video of that person attacking that ICE agent that is now in the hospital with who knows what? I'm just mind-blowing the stuff that you're saying. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just have hopped in and stuff, this is my podcast. We're just Naterealmidwest Podcast for live on every session. Yeah, I'm mind-blowing on everything. It's just it's like it's so the stuff that he's saying is so asinine and crazy that everybody is just like, I'm laughing. I'm laughing the words that you're saying. They're breaking windows. Let's not forget the people that invaded a church, Governor Walz. Let's not forget the people that dragged somebody down the street because he was protesting about some other stuff. Oh, you're not going to talk about that, but you're coming on live national television and convincing the Minnesota people that ICE agents are just dragging the stuff that is happening. That's just crazy. That is crazy. Okay? Yeah, you're just sitting here. I mean, I can't even play the full video without laughing at a foolish governor that is happening. Laughing about the federal spending that is literally for public safety is 5.3%. It's very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that Governor Walz doesn't care about Minnesota, doesn't care about the safety of innocent people that are doing nothing wrong about that and stuff. It's fine. It's fine to me. But what is so funny is we have a governor sitting here and saying all these stuff completely while you know very, very well what you're doing. It is just asinine and crazy. That video, I just couldn't, you know. You can't tell me like that video is gonna work on the whole idea of him speaking. And then we have Jacob Fry saying that this was completely murder, and so it's just and people believe it. People are believing this. They're gonna believe it. They're so freaking brainwashed, and then some people are saying they're getting paid to do this, but that's a different video for a different day. But it is so mind-blowing on stuff and what is going on. But I think we need to focus on getting our streets, cities safe. I think that's what our big focus is getting our city safe. And I think the problem is that is happening in the state of Minnesota. Governor Walz is not caring about the safety. He doesn't care about the other people that are trying to go to work. You're not going to believe this. Schools are being closed down. Businesses are being closed down in Minneapolis because they're afraid that we're going to have the winter of love again. Winter of love. It's exactly. He's involved in a lot of stuff. I mean, conspiracy to commit murder. I mean, that's so freaking true. But what I'm trying to really resonate with everything and put everything into a close caption quarter or something is our governor is just sitting here with no safety at all, resonessing everything like everything is okay, and I don't know what to say. I don't. It's just for... It's like this little pen. Little pen. That's how he thinks about the Minnesota people. We're just a pen. But the illegals? Yeah, it's just what the example I'll just give you. He's throwing the Minnesota people away. He doesn't care about the safety, doesn't care about these people going to work or the businesses, but we're going to care for the illegals. We're going to fight for the illegals. I'm sorry, but when did Minnesota become a place that we're going to push away the Minnesotans? We're going to push away the Minnesotans, and we're going to stand up for the illegals. We're going to fund the illegals. We're going to give them all the funding. I don't care if it drains the pockets of the taxpayer money. I don't care if it drains the system of the overwhelm of the system. I am so sick and tired of hearing false claims of people saying, oh, ICE is doing this, ICE is doing that, ICE is doing this. Oh, shut up with that. I'm sorry, I said it on my podcast. Shut up. Just shut up. Stop. Look at your own research before you do stuff, correct? Look at the stuff that is happening in the state of Minnesota and how it's affecting Minnesota. You guys are sitting here supporting a man that wants violence across our state. It's not supposed to happen that way. It is not supposed to be like that. But sadly, you're putting people in fear's way. Yeah, you're putting people in fear. It was very interesting to me to look at Jacob Fry's comment, and I wanted to make sure that it's very clear what I'm going to say about his comment and his actions. Okay, you guys. His comments. Welcome in, everybody. I say it's hard to focus. You should be a podcaster like I am. But let's go back to Jacob Fry. So Jake Fry's comments right now is so asinine and crazy. It's just... this ICE agent has internal bleeding, okay? Nobody cares about this ICE agent that has internal bleeding. But we're going to have a visual for Reese Good in the state of Minnesota, who's not even from Minnesota. She was trying to unalive an ICE agent, but we're going to honor her. We're going to honor her. Over my dead body. Over my dead body. We're honoring her. Like the same thing with Joy Floyd. Let's honor Joy Floyd. You know, I'm sick and tired of people making people who do horrible things, and we're honoring them. Honoring them. So, okay, this is an example that I'm going to bring out here, all right? This is an example, and I can't wait to put this an example on the table, is if somebody murders somebody, we're going to honor them. We're going to honor them. I bet you, if someone is, one of the ICE agents is unalive, I bet Governor Walz is going to come on live television and say, well done. That was self-defense. I bet you he's going to say that. And then everybody over all the liberal social media is going to be praising this person for unaliving an ICE agent. Literally, literally people are going to be rejoicing about this. They're going to be rejoicing about, oh, this person unalived an ICE agent. Are you kidding me? That's coming soon. Believe it or not, it's coming. It's going to happen. What am I supposed to say? Sitting here and just running a podcast, understanding that, oh, Somebody gets unalived. And if an ICE agent's get unalived, we're going to honor that person who did it. It is crazy right now. It is crazy. It is. They're rejoicing about a whole bunch of stuff right now, people. I just can't believe it. They are rejoicing a whole bunch of stuff. They just dragged somebody on the street in Minneapolis. Where were the officers? Where were the police? Well, I'll tell you why the police ain't out there. Because their federal funding is only 5.3% for public safety. That is why. That is why they're not out there. That is why they're not doing anything. That is why they're not protecting anybody. That is why they're not doing anything. People with disabilities aren't going to be protected. People in Minnesota ain't going to be protected because the police is only getting 5.3%. They just don't want to put their lives in danger. They don't. But the problem is that what we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is Governor Walz does not care about the Minnesota people except one thing. Cares about illegals and cares about violence happening on our street. That is only he cares about. And he's inciting violence. But you guys all say, oh, J6 was bad. Oh, you guys are going to think, oh, J6 bad. Look what's happening in the streets of Minneapolis, okay? Look what's happening at St. Paul's Capitol. Look what's happening all around Minneapolis, all across Minnesota. If you do not know that consequences are coming, consequences are coming. And you are going to make all of us suffer the consequences when we did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. And you think Trump is a dictator. Do you want to see a dictator move? You want to? You will be complaining when 10 USC is invoked in the state of Minnesota. Here's an option for you guys. Listen very carefully. Here's an option for you. How about you guys protest online? You have social media. You have Facebook. You have TikTok. You have Twitter. I know you have so much that you guys don't have to go on the streets. And why are you going on the streets in Minnesota when it's really, really cold? Are you guys crazy? No, you're not crazy. You're insane. That's what I have to say. The word is insane. There's no hope for people like you that think it's okay to have violence. There's no hope for people like you that it's okay to rise against federal agents that are trying to keep Minnesota safe. You don't care about your tax money. You don't. You don't. So, if you care about your tax money, why is your tax money defining in its power while you are sitting here and allowing people to be degraded? That you're getting stuff from the mainstream media. Let's go see what Caroline Lovett said. I wanted to be careful on what is happening on closed quarters and what we are seeing on everything on its level. And it's so interesting. You know what, Candace Owens, this is what I'm going to call you out for one thing. Talk about Minnesota. I mean, yeah, please do. At least I could, sure, show you guys something, but I just wanted to hear what Jacob Fry, and this is coming from CNN, you know, and this is, Karen Levitt covered everything. We have the ICE protest, you know, we have so much but everybody's going to believe what the mainstream media is, you know? Why the hell are we honoring somebody? Why? Why the hell are we honoring somebody? I don't understand this. But I'm going to make something very, very clear to you, to the people that want these protests to happen. And this is the very clear thing I'm going to make clear. Very, very clear. You are causing to have consequences come our way. And what these consequences are going to be is going to be U.S. Code 10. So I want a fair warning for the people that are supporting these protests. This is my warning to you. We need to put a stop to this. We do. Let's look up, see what CNN is saying right now. So let's go. Oh, I just love CNN.
And the showdown, we begin tonight with breaking news in Minnesota and the showdown between the Trump administration and Democratic leaders on the ground. The Justice Department is now investigating Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. The source confirms this to CNN. Now, the investigation apparently centers on possible obstruction of federal law enforcement. Both Walz and Frey have been fierce critics of the Trump administration's response to the death of Renee Good. Opening an investigation into them is certainly a dramatic escalation in this battle between the White House and these leaders. While the DOJ is now investigating the conduct of Democratic state and local leaders, they made clear they are not investigating the officer who actually shot and killed Renee Good. Now,
why? Why should we be investigating the person who shot and killed Ray Good? Why? Why should we be investigating that? Why? Oh, because it is not. Oh, wait a second. They're not investigating because he's in the hospital with internal bleeding. And then you guys decided to have a GoFundMe and raise over $1.1 million for Renee's Good. Do I need to tell you? Do I need to tell you the stuff that she has done, how our children were abused? No, there's no freedom of speech, people. No. The idea that you're saying there's freedom of speech, they're not freedom of speech. They're rioting the streets. They're making business want to close down. There's no freedom of speech there. They're rioting. They're causing harm in harm ways, and it's getting cold outside. This is not freedom of speech. This is automatically violence. There is no freedom of speech when you're rioting. There is no freedom of speech when you decide to go invade a church of worship. Do you want us to come and invade a mosque? We'll do so. What makes it okay for people to go invade a church when people are trying to worship? What has happened to society? Out of all things is a church, ladies and gentlemen, a church. Oh no, but it's okay. It's okay, right? Because it's not J6. It's okay because it's not the summer of love that happened in Minnesota. It's okay because it's not Trump supporters, right? That is the only excuse you guys have. It's okay, right? It's okay. But Trump supporters are the problem. And we want to unalive Trump supporters. We want to hunt down ICE agents. You guys are sick. You are sick. If you want to support this, you are sick. If you want to go harm these people and break into an ICE car and people are fearing for their life and attacking ICE agents. You are acting like children. You're acting like childish behavior. You are acting like nobody cares about what you guys think, but you do not care about the consequences that are happening in the state. While you guys are waking up, going to attack ICE agents, what is your kids going to think about you? Have you ever thought what your kids are going to think about you? This is what I'm going to say. You know, in the near future, when your kids are all grown up and have grandchildren, you know, they're going to say, did you know what my grandfather did? He went to go attack an ICE agent. Yeah, your grandfather went to go attack an ICE agent. Your grandmother went to go attack an ICE agent. Your grandmother is sitting in jail about attacking an ICE agent. It is not about, I don't care about what is going on. They don't care about their kids. They don't care about how other people are going to be affected by this. No. What they care about is to cause violence. They want an uproar. Democrats are loving it. And you guys say that you guys are the party of love and peace. Oh, let me tell you, you are not the party of love and peace if you dragged an innocent man across the damn street. Do not bring me that the Democrats are the party of peace and love. Do not say that the Republicans are violent. And when you are causing violence and fear across the United States and Minnesota, this is why you will lose the midterms. This is why there will be consequences coming your way. And this is why more stuff is happening. We should not be going out and be feared for our lives because ridiculous people, like somebody in my comments right now, wants to support this action. You want to support it, right? Well, what happens if I tell you if you do support this, there's consequences coming your way? You're having consequences. You don't know that if U.S. Code 10 is invoked and stuff, if U.S. Code 10 is invoked, it involves everybody in Minnesota. It involves everybody in Minnesota. So the consequences that you're trying to invoke is going to affect all of us. There's no effect on anything that is affecting our system, affecting our nation, but it doesn't matter. You're going to believe every left-leaning source that is out there that is saying that Reese Good was murdered. She wasn't. And then we have somebody in the hospital right now that has internal bleeding, but nobody, not one Democrat, not one person is going to care about that ever. Ever. So don't bring me this idea that you care about the Minnesota people. Do not bring me this idea that you care about the disability people. Don't bring me this idea that you care, because you don't. Straight up, you don't. Your selfish act towards the American people and towards the people that are just trying to go to work, make money, and put food on the table, you're preventing. You are preventing that. But you don't care. You don't care. You only care to harm the ICE agents. Your only care is to hunt them down. Your only care is to unalive them. Your only care is to hurt their family. Oh yeah, don't play that game with me. Public safety should never be at 5.3% of the federal fund. What the hell are you asking the federal government to give us public safety that is 5.3%, 37% to the Department of Human Services, and 39% to education? 5.3% in public safety? They're wondering why these police officers don't want to go out and do their job. Because of that! Please stop funding to Minnesota right now. Just stop it. Just stop the funding, feds. I'm literally asking you, President Trump, to stop all funding to Minnesota just for once. I really want that federal funding to stop. And I want those Democrats just to go cry for a bit. It's to the point that right now, somebody's saying that you guys need to go homeschool your kids. It's coming to that point. Literally, it's actually coming to that point that all schools are going to be shut down. No joke. I'm not kidding. It's coming to that point that all schools are going to be shut down. I'm not kidding. They are shutting down Minneapolis schools. And now parents are going to decide, what are we going to do with our kids? Do they go to school at home? I have to work. My husband has to work, but his business is getting closed down. He can't work from home. So the people that are being affected by this, nobody cares. I agree. Homeschool your children for now. I'm sorry. Take them out of the Minneapolis school and homeschool your children. And for people who might need to be applying for a second job because I'm not kidding. They're closing down businesses, people, because of the riots. Because of the riots that are happening. It's really saying it's not even safe to go to church. We can't worship anymore. We can't. We have to do church from home. You call this freedom? Oh, but you have people coming in here and invading what is invaded. Correct? Correct. I think I can preach in what I want to preach, but when you invade a church, that has gone too far. You have really now ticked me off to the point that I can't even imagine what you were saying. It's evil. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the Naterealmidwest Podcast. I'm your host, Nathaniel M. Olson. God bless you guys. Please pray for Minnesota and pray for our governor because it's crazy. It is just asinine crazy. We'll be back for more podcasts. It's just evil. You guys are allowing evilness to cross our system. God bless you guys. God bless America. I'm Nathaniel M. Olson, your host on the Naterealmidwest Podcast Season 2. If you have not, please go click on, I'm on YouTube, Twitter, X, Facebook, all over, Riverside. Click on it, share this to your friends. Go ahead, go to X, and then a website is going to be coming out pretty soon. We're just going to make that pretty soon, that you guys can have all the merches, you can have all the updates I am. Like I said, I'm all over social media, so you're not going to miss me. You ain't going to miss me one bit. I'm going to bring you the truth. I'm going to bring you the facts, and if I hurt any of your feelings, I'm sorry. You're hurt. So grow a pair of panties. God bless you guys. I'm Nate, to the Naterealmidwest Podcast. I'm your host, Nathaniel M. Olson, and special guests are coming soon. Just to let you know. Goodbye. God bless. Love you all.